Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? You're knowing what you're wanting? Moves about a bit. Are you enjoying the expansion of your own desire? Say yes, say yes. Now mean it. Because when you are enjoying the desire as it is hatching, that means that you are in the vibrational vicinity of it, which means you have no conflicting beliefs. You have no beliefs that are contrary to your desire, so you have a singular stream. You're offering a vibrational output that's not contradicted. And when you do that, you are powerful. When you do that, law of attraction responds to your vibrational frequency, and what comes back to you is swift and sure. But if you desire something that you doubt, if you want it but you don't believe it, then that wanting doesn't feel very good, does it? And the reason that it does not is because there is contradiction in your vibration. And when there is contradiction in your vibration, you can feel the resistance in that frequency. Do you understand why it is even possible to have that resistance in your frequency? Do you know who you are? Do you understand that you are extensions of source energy? Most physical humans do not. But when you catch on to that, when you really begin to understand that you are in this physical body, yes you are, and that you came forth from non-physical, yes you did, and that non-physical energy is streaming to you steadily, a constant never-ending stream, a frequency, a stream of consciousness, a source energy consciousness flowing to you and through you. In fact, it is you. You're here in this body, but only a part of you is here. A larger part remains non-physically focused. And incredibly, we cannot even find words to describe the intensity of the interest that source energy feels about what you are focused about here and now. Sometimes you think you are alone, but you never are. But when you feel that way, when you feel lonely, it is always because you have found some way of looking at something that is so screwy, so out of alignment with the way source sees the same thing. And that's the most important thing that you'll hear from us. Hold on to those words just a little bit. The same thing. Source is right there with you now. Now, now, now. This could take a while. Now, now. Always right there, having an opinion about whatever it is you're focused upon. So let's say that you are focused upon someone and you are loving them and you are feeling all of that good feeling that love is. That feeling that you are feeling is your guidance letting you know that you are having resonance with source right here, right now. In other words, the way you're looking at this is the way source is looking at this, and there's no resistance in the vibration anywhere. And so you are literally one. You are one stream. And when you are connected like that, when there is no resistance within you, you are powerful creators. You are powerful attractors. You are using the leverage of source. The energy that creates worlds is flowing through you. So I want to talk to you today about who you really are. But we don't want to talk so much about who you really are and where you've come from that you lose track of why you're here and what you are about. Because you are creator. You have come into this environment to explore and to personally. It's so important that you feel the personally part, to personally decide, to personally prefer, to personally desire, to personally create. You are important and your perspective matters. So as you understand that you're here to sift through variety in order to come to your personal preferences, and then when you understand that as you come to those preferences, that the larger part of you, all that is us, will back you up in those preferences, but you can't get crossways of your own preferences. You can't say, I want to love except for that rascal. Every now and again, Esther would find herself crossways of someone, and we convinced her over time that the reason that it felt so awful when she would get crossways of someone is because we were not going there with her. And she said to us on more than one occasion, Abraham, I think you need more information about this person. You might be looking through starry eyes. And we say we always do, because we know who you really are. And so when you introduce into your pattern of thought something that contradicts who you really are, you feel it. That's what your emotional guidance is all about. So we'll tell you briefly. We know you've heard it from us before, but it's such a good way to get started. We want to remind you that you were source energy before you came into these physical bodies. And a part of you is extended here into this time-space reality, which is, by the way, and we don't say that lightly, the leading edge of all that is. All that is focused here with you now on this leading edge, this creative leading edge. Humans have it so mixed up. So often they think that source, or what they want to call God, is figured it all out, is perfect, is finished, is final, is standing in some place waiting for you all to catch up. And we want you to understand that you are the leading edge of that which you think God is. You're here exploring and becoming, and source energy is becoming right along with you. And so as life causes you to know what you don't want, what you do want becomes very clear. And even if you are unable to speak it, or even if you're not wanting to speak it with those who are around you, still you are launching a vibrational rocket, a vibrational essence of what you desire. It's emanating from you. It's shooting like a rocket. And Source rides that rocket. We're not kidding you even a little bit. And becomes the vibrational essence of what you are asking for. So every time you ask, you become it. We call that step one. Step one of the creative process. You become it. You ask, and it is. And the reason it is because Source becomes what you are asking for vibrationally in the moment that you ask for it. That's that leading edge that we are talking about. But as you are standing in your physical form, because you've been exploring contrast exactly as you intended to, as you explore that contrast and you launch that rocket, you are not familiar with that rocket because you are usually mixed up in the contrast that has caused it to launch. So you are, especially in the beginning of the launching of any desire, not a vibrational match to it. If you were, it would manifest instantaneously. If you were a vibrational match, if your frequency were the same as what you're asking for, if you felt the prosperity that you want and need, you would be living it. But if you want and need prosperity that you are not living, that means there is a vibrational gap between your practiced thought and this rocket you launched with Source became immediately. So what we want to talk about here today is how you close that gap. How do you close that vibrational gap? How do you become the frequency of your desires? How do you stop being the frequency of your doubt? And we want to remind you that the thoughts that you think are active thoughts, and law of attraction is responding to these active thoughts. So when you think a thought and you hold it for a little while, other thoughts like it come to it. That's what law of attraction means and is and does. So as other thoughts match it, and you maintain the frequency of that for a while, as you consistently do that, you have what you call beliefs. We call it practiced thought. We call it law of attraction's natural response to the frequency that you are frequently offering. We call it, in most cases, as we are talking about humans, we love you so much, you know what's coming next. When we're talking about humans, we call that usually sloppy thinking, because mostly you are not thinking thoughts about what you want, you are thinking thoughts about what you've got. You are thinking thoughts about what is, because you are really good observers. And there's nothing wrong with that, except that everything that you observe causes you to practice a frequency of it, which causes, hear these words, they are so important, which causes your point of attraction to be practiced to the point that law of attraction is responding to your point of attraction. So even though you want different things, you keep getting similar things, different faces and different places and somewhat different scenarios, but the same things sort of play out over and over. Have you noticed? Because you have habits of thought. Some of them are serving you, but some of them are not. So we want to show you how you can think deliberately. We want to remind you that your guidance, your emotional guidance, helps you to think more purposefully. We want to remind you that as you launch these rockets of desire, we wrote a whole book about that vortex. Did you read it? You were so kind to us. Esther's spinning her hand in the air, and we're insisting that there's your vortex and everything you want is in it. And we say to you, just get in there where everything you want is. And you say, all right, but how do I get in? And recently, we've been explaining to you that you have created a vibrational reality. And that vibrational reality is not something that you can yet see or hear or smell or taste or touch. You can feel it if you try a little. But because it has not yet manifested, you don't want to call it reality, but we do. We want to call it the vibrational reality, which is the precursor to everything that you want. It's where the larger part of you stands. It's who you really are. It's all that you have become. It's all that you have lived, and all that you have lived has accomplished, or it is all that you have become. And so there is this vibrational version of you that you are, we hear you, waiting to manifest into some form of reality. And so you say to us things like, all right, Abraham, I get it. I've heard you enough. Pretty tired of it too. That all the money I want is in the vortex. I just want to get it out of the vortex and into the bank. Into the bank, please. I want my lover in my bed, not in the vortex. And so we want to talk about how you turn those thoughts to things. How you become the receiver, the liver, the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, liquor of the things that you want. We want you to live the full manifested version. And you know why? Because you came here to do it. You came here as leading edge creators to sift and sort and to decide and launch and to become and to feel and to allow the fullness of all that you have created to be the life that you are living. That's who you are. And anything less than that will never feel enough to you. You are powerful creators, and you are supposed to live the full manifested version of what you are creating. So we want to talk briefly, and then we'll talk to you about anything you want to talk about. We want to talk briefly about your point of attraction. We want you to understand that as you stand wherever you are, that you have a habit of vibration. It's a habit of thought. It's your practiced beliefs. It's your point of attraction. It's an atmosphere that surrounds you, a vibrational atmosphere. You keep emanating thoughts that create this atmosphere, but this atmosphere is what law of attraction is responding to. So we want you to get the sense, we want you to get a full view that as life has caused you to know what you don't want and therefore know what you do want, that you've put clarity into your vortex. You've put clarity rather than confusion. You've put prosperity rather than not enough. You've put well-being on every level into your vortex. And it's time for you to relax and allow, to deliberately create the vibrational atmosphere that allows this movement of the vibrational reality into what you call full blossoming reality. We want you to understand how these thoughts turn to things. We want you to get it, that you are a perceptual being, that you are a perceiver. Sometimes when we tell this story of your thoughts turning to things, Esther wants to find the word so it will be revealed to you. But we want to say it in a clearer way, because it is always being